YouTube side is bugged. I'm like, what is going on? Anything good on the state of play? You're looking at it. It's all about Phantom Blade Zero. I don't know how long this one will be. Typically, the dedicated state of plays are like 20, 30 minutes long. So I'm guessing this is going to be like a 20 to 30 minute state of play. All about Phantom Blade Zero. Which I am very hyped to play. I'm glad they pushed it to October as well. Because there's too many games in September. So it's nice to have a little more space. Because when September rolls around, you know, I gotta play Onimusha and Wolverine. Gotta play Control Resonant. Then I'll probably get Blood of the Dawnwalker. So it's nice to have some space. But I think of Lanterns. Weren't you at? Oh yeah, that's right. The Eastwood had to. Did you have to leave the after show early? Because I know Eastwood was there. But you might have missed. You might have missed the. You might have missed the 9 o'clock section. I know Gabe was working because me and Jay streamed and basically just reacted live to Lanterns and as soon as it aired. Jay was trying to make it work in the Discord, but you know, him and technology don't mix. And surprisingly, yeah, I knew I was gonna like it. But I was wondering how Jay would react, but Jay loved it just as much as I did, surprisingly. I thought Jay was going to get hung up on the Hal Jordan stuff. And he didn't. No, he was like, he was all in. So if even someone, a Hal Jordan fan like Jay is on board, that's good. That's a good sign. I appreciate your 2 months, Ronnie. What's up, Blaze? Yeah, I'm assuming if a Hal Jordan fan boy like Jay still loved the episode, that bodes well for everybody else. And all the reactions I saw so far were good, but yeah, I knew I was going to enjoy it, but I thought Jay would be hung up on the Hal Jordan stuff, especially when we found out what happened to Hal Jordan by the end of the first episode. But no, he just rolled with it because it was just such a good show. It was just such a good first episode. Yeah, I think last I saw on IMDb, it was like, I think it was like tied with Penguin for highest rated first episode. For that first episode rating. So yeah, they're off to a real good start with their shows. They definitely needed a W after Supergirl, and it looks like this is it. we had some theories. Jay thinks they're setting up maybe Parallax, the Blackest Night storyline where Hal would obviously come back to life. But I I just look at it as like, hey, John's the main lantern, and they're gonna go full True Detective and walk us through this mystery. It's good. Yeah, Kyle Chandler's good. I told Jay, like, don't get hung up on. I know he was hung up on the age thing, but I'm like, coach. That's coach. That's our coach, bro. Friday Night Lights. Kyle Chandler is an amazing actor. Will always remember him for Friday Night Lights. Absolute peak show, and Kyle Chandler was insane. I knew he was going to crush it as Hal. Especially the jerk, especially playing the jerk. He's really good. Forgot about Black Myth. I didn't forget about anything. I don't care about Black Myth. I was focusing on games coming out September in the immediate future that I'm locked in on. Onimusha, Control, Wolverine, Blood of the Dawnwalker, Phantom Blade Zero in October. Then we're going to have GTA 6 in November. That's my game calendar. And then 2027, I'm looking, earlier 2027, I'm looking at Undefeated Genesis, Fable. Like, that's where I'm locked in on. I didn't even finish Black Myth. I didn't even finish Black Myth Wukong. So Vanquish. The Halloween game looks okay. Not something that I'm like hyped to play. You read that Josh Brolin was offered Hal Jordan, turned it down. But it did. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably what Jay would have preferred. Definitely Hal Jordan fans wanted Hal Jordan to be more prominent in the DCU, younger, but I'm glad they went with John. John Stewart, I think, was the right call, and Aaron Pierre, absolutely perfect in their role. I mean, it's valid. No, it's definitely valid because the casting of Kyle Chandler indicates that they probably don't necessarily plan to feature him like prominently. Like Robert Downey Jr. is older now, but he was a lot younger when the MCU started. Keep that in mind. So was Hugh Jackman. That's obviously the issue here. Like Robert Downey Jr. was only Robert Downey Jr. was like what, I think he had turned he was 41. He was 41 when he filmed Iron Man 1. Very huge difference. Whereas Kyle Chandler is starting his DCU at age 60, 61. So that's definitely valid. Like Robert Downey Jr. is old now because he's been doing the MCU for over 20 years. That's why. That wouldn't have been the case if he was 60 when he first was cast to play Tony. That's the point. So it's a perfectly valid point. Like, them casting a 60-year-old means they're not looking to have him play long term. So Nava, forgot about to stay play. I would not. Appreciate the 5. Thanks for streaming. Always fun. You got Plague Tale. Yeah, I haven't got into any of those games, but definitely excited for Blood of Dawnwalker. Yeah, I think the Supergirl was an unfortunate misstep, and I think the problem with Supergirl was definitely more so the execution than the idea. I think the the only flaws in the lineup was the Waller and Themyscira show, which they both got rid of, so that problem's out of the way. Like having two Superman movies ready, you know, planned out, having a Batman Brave and the Bold movie, all those are great decisions. A Lantern show, great decision. So all that's fine. It's just a matter of the execution that they have to worry about. The Supergirl movie failed because it just wasn't well made. Imagine GTA 6 releases on Netflix. Netflix games isn't even going to exist for that much longer. They just closed like 2 of their studios. But it's funny seeing it was funny pulling up Netflix today and seeing them advertising the GTA special presentation. Need to see new episode of Lanterns. You still didn't watch that? Oh, you gotta watch that now. That's absolute cinema. Yeah, super. Yeah, no, like Lobo was probably the best part of the movie, and he felt like added on, like he didn't even fit that much. Like he was kind of he felt kind of shoehorned in. Appreciate the 5. Blood of Dawnwalker. Yeah, I haven't watched the last trailer, but I've reacted to the deep dive that they did, exploring like the open world and how they have freedom, yet they have quest freedom, which I think is really cool in these RPGs. Also saw that part of it takes place in the present day, so that was like an interesting twist. That was the last thing I saw when they showed that part of it takes place, part of the story takes place in like modern day, and then it goes back to tell like the story in the past. I thought that was pretty cool. Been busy. You better prioritize. Nothing should keep you from watching Lanterns. Yeah, Netflix has never had like a major release because Netflix isn't, yeah, Netflix games. If you never tried it, Netflix games isn't an actual platform. It's the games on Netflix are playable through the Netflix app because they're like they're basically like mobile games, and they're playable through the app. It's not an actual platform. It's not like PlayStation or Steam or Xbox. You can't like buy new games through Netflix and play them. It's, yeah, Netflix game is basically just like a mobile game section within the app. Sadly, Marvel is struggling too. Not even really, because all Marvel's, because Marvel always has the Spider-Man card to play. Like, so they were never really struggling. Like their issues were self-inflicted. Like their movies didn't really start bombing until Ant-Man and Ant-Man 3 and the Marvels. and we knew their Doomsday movies were going, their Avengers movies were going to make bank. We knew the Spider-Man movie was going to print money. So Marvel's issues were not at all like the same as DC's. DC's issue has been establishing and then growing their cinematic universe. Marvel already grew their cinematic universe. They already made it insanely successful, created all these new fans. Their issue is not being stupid and ruining it. Like they just have to go back to consistently making good projects. Whereas DC has been struggling to get it out of the door because the with the DCEU they tried to rush it and just ended up falling flat on their face. So now they got a fresh start with James Gunn, and they're in like the early phases, like, and it's just going to take time. Like DC isn't struggling, like it literally just started. Like Superman, it was essentially their Iron Man. This will basically essentially be like saying that the MCU is struggling before Iron Man 2 came out, you know? It's like we gotta wait and see how the first phase of Gunn's DCU plays out. You're buffering, refresh your whatever device you're watching on. Best thing about the Marvels of Fergus. Best part of the Marvels to me was Amon Vellani. It literally just felt like an extended episode of Miss Marvel rather than a Captain Marvel sequel. Like she stole every scene she was in. Appreciate it too. Wolverine is fast. I mean, yeah, Miles is very much superhuman, so he should dust Wolverine. Thor would be better off attacking Doom with a Flurkin than Stormbreaker. Actually, unironically, yes, actually, because they at least they might have a better chance at actually eating Doom because they have like they're like bottomless. Their stomachs are basically like pocket dimensions. You say make a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street? Yeah. Now that they're doing like they're doing more horror games. Yeah, if you do Halloween, it definitely would make sense to try to do something similar for Nightmare on Elm Street. That could be cool. I had no idea Mount Blind was right too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she should take Kevin Feige's place. Like she should literally replace Kevin Feige. Let her run Marvel. Let her run the MCU. Totally off topic. I covered this before. I was asked this before. I legitimately don't follow the Simpsons video games. I think you asked me this before. I don't follow the Simpsons video games. I haven't played a Simpsons video game since literally since the arcade game I used to play. So I have no idea what's going on with the hit and run. I honestly don't care. I don't because I don't play the Simpsons games. I don't even watch the show anymore. I might check out the new Simpsons movie. I saw they announced that at D23. I might check that out. Just a kid. It might because I like the last Simpson movie. Yeah, yeah. I remember the new Crazy Taxi. I'm glad they didn't cancel that one. Sega pulled back on some of their revivals, but yes, seeing Crazy Taxi, that's gonna be some nice nostalgia. Appreciate you too, Armani. I was hoping they'd bring back some of those other Sega Dreamcast games. Like obviously, uh, Power Stone was my jam, but I remember that demo that Dreamcast demo disc. It had I think it had Crazy Taxi, Power Stone, and Ready to Rumble. I played those all the time. I love those games. Like the Sims Arcade, I put so many quarters into that Simpsons Arcade. It was such a good game. I played that all the time. They had it at one of them at the summer camp. I went to the summer camp and they had the Simpsons and the X-Men arcade game in their recreation area right next, and like right across from there was like it was actually kind of like a perfect rec area. Like you had a pool hall, you had your vending machines with your Mountain Dew on tap. Then you had the arcade section with the X-Men arcade and the Simpsons arcade, and then you had a full court gym with basketball hoops. So it had everything you could have wanted as a kid. So I would hop in, I would LARP on pool for a little bit, then just spend like hours on the arcade machines playing, going between Simpsons and X-Men, and then I'd go and shoot a little bit, and before coming back to the arcade. those are peak, bro. All good, Blaze. Mountain Dew, bro. Mountain Dew. That was the drink of choice for gamers back in the day. Had to have had to have the Mountain Dew if you're going to have a long gaming session at the arcade. Mountain Dew was essential. Absolute peak experience. I was all in on those arcade. My mom would take me to the arcade like every other weekend or so. Sometimes like they had this really, at least every month, like because they had this really cool arcade up in New Jersey in the Morristown Mall. Really good. It was a really solid mall too. Like we go up there. They had a movie theater in the mall. They had the arcade, and they had arcade at everything: Virtual Fighter, X-Men, Simpsons, Time Crisis, Star Wars. It had the Speed Racer game. That arcade had everything. Then the food court was peak. They had this spot where I used to get these chicken cheesesteaks that were just gas, and then they had this really good cookie shop. So I as a kid, I was eating good whenever we went up there. The movie theater was solid too. This was back when theater food wasn't as expensive, and they actually gave you food. So I'd get like a huge tray of nachos. Nowadays your nacho, you get like 8 nachos if you go to the movies for like $20. but but back then you got a giant tray of nachos you had to you had to you had to sometimes get extra cheese because you would like run out of cheese before you ran out of nachos. Yeah, that never happens anymore. Malls seem like ghost towns. Yeah, I feel like malls now are just used for TikTok and Instagram content creators. That's the only thing I see malls used for now. Just people farming content. Feels like nobody hangs out at malls anymore. I used to always go to the mall for the arcades or the game stores for GameStop, EB Games. Uh, I think the I didn't my toy store choice was Toys R Us, so we didn't usually go to the mall for that. But when we were at the mall, they usually had the toy store usually had in the mall was like KB Toys, which was pretty peak. Obviously, Toys R Us was the GOAT back then, but KB Toys is also really good. You usually find those in the mall. You definitely used to pop in there. Nothing like the smell of going in the mall and popping into the toy store or the GameStop first thing. It was just something about the vibes, the air. It was just amazing. Code Red. See, always like the original. Like to me, nothing beat the original Mountain Dew. Like it just hit different. The green, ice cold green Mountain Dew while you're gaming, it just hit different. Like I didn't want any when they start. I stopped drinking Mountain Dew right around when they started adding a bunch of different flavors. Eventually, I quit soda altogether, but up until then, like my go to sodas were like normal Mountain Dew and Brisk. Those are like my favorite. Then I throw in some like maybe Sunkist Orange and Pepsi sometimes, but I definitely prefer Brisk and definitely Mountain Dew. Hot sand pretzels. Replace hot for me. We had Annie Ann's pretzels. That was our pretzel spot. Best to this day. I still think best pretzels in the world. I've never found a better pretzel than Annie Ann's pretzels. Nothing better. They seem to have survived in shitification because they last I had them, they were still really good. Peach, yeah, I don't even know that one. I never had that one. The artificial orange juice also tastes like medicine. Dr. Pepper. I never liked Dr. Pepper. I always thought Dr. Pepper was like high key ass. Like my aunt, I always associated Dr. Pepper with old people. Like all the unks and aunties I grew up with like Dr. Pepper. I hated Dr. Pepper. I thought it was terrible. Never like. I thought Dr. Pepper tasted like cough syrup, bro. That was. I thought that was trash. I was like if the only soda left in the house was Dr. Pepper, I was not drinking soda that I was not drinking soda that week. I was having water and milk. Or some iced tea. I was not touching Dr. Pepper, bro. Dr. Pepper is horrible. It's the worst soda I've ever had, bro. I hated Dr. Pepper. Like you come home with soda and I see Doctor, like you playing in my face. I'm not about that. like you better go back. You better go back for some Pepsi or something. Turn 50 years, that checks out. Like all the old people like Dr. Pepper. All my friends we were on Mountain Dew, Sprite, Pepsi, Coke. like none of us drank. None of us were drinking Dr. Pepper. we had root beer for sure. Root beer is pretty clean. Nobody was touching Dr. Pepper, bro. On soul, nobody wanted that. None of our kids wanted Dr. Pepper, bro. I would rather like the drink I hated. The drink I hated most as a kid was strawberry milk. It just made me nauseous. I hated it. I was like, why ruin good milk? Either you have it plain, whole milk, or you add chocolate. I never understood adding strawberry. I thought it was horrible. And like literally made me sick. Still would rather have that than Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is terrible. Sunkist Grape and PlayStation 1 was your life. Well, Sunkist was high key pretty good. Like I had like it wasn't as big as like some of the other brands, but I definitely was squeezing some Sunkist. It had some solid flavors. Yeah, no, I did. Dr. Pepper was a generational thing. Yeah, legitimately. Not too much on Nestle Cook though. I used to stay with the Nestle. We used to we had the Nestle chocolate packet, so I would just the Nestle chocolate syrup. So I would like when I wanted some chocolate milk, I just go down, pour me a glass of milk, and then like about halfway, and then pour in a bunch of the Nestle syrup and stir it up. Delicious. Then I hop on the Sega Genesis. 7-Up, 7-Up. I'll add that as second. I think now I'm thinking, is 7-Up more ass than Dr. Pepper? Now that you bring up now you just reminded me of 7-Up. 7-Up might be more ass than Dr. Pepper. I'm not gonna lie. 7-Up is actually terrible. 7-Up is actually lime flavored lighter fluid. Like I have blocked that out of my memory. It might actually be better than it might actually be worse than Dr. Pepper. I'm not gonna cap. Yeah, I take it back. Like Dr. Pepper was like an old people thing. I don't know anybody that like drank 7-Up. 7-Up was horrible. 7-Up was actually terrible. Because it's like Sprite was just right there and just infinitely better. And then if you wanted that like lemon flavor, you had Brisk. There was like never any reason to drink 7-Up. Dr. Pepper cream. Ugh. I mean, to be fair, Jay is also an old man, so that checks out. Funny enough, I don't drink soda anymore. I drink Zevia. It's like this healthy, sugar-free alternative, sweetened with stevia. They have like a Dr. Pepper flavor, and it's actually good. It also could be because I'm out now, but it feels like it tastes way better than like the actual OG Dr. Pepper. I don't get it as often as the other flavors, but in a pinch it's actually pretty good. Yeah, Jay played Phantom Blade Zero, and he actually wasn't terrible at it. He actually beat the boss in the demo.
Extinguish the flame. See what burns beneath.
Oh, they're giving us the dub.
Blade. Let true steel speak. No shape. No shadow. Yet it moves through all.
I'm definitely playing this English sub. When I get my hands on it.
Who are you?
I haven't missed Soda at all since I switched to Zevia. It's been like 10 years. Best game, here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen!
Consultant for Phantom Blade Zero.
Yo!
And the actor behind Yuan, a formidable martial arts master.
It's It Man.
I want players around the world to enter our wuxia world driven by old grudges, shifting alliances, and the confrontations that forge its legends. Rooted in the traditions of Chinese martial arts, Phantom Blade Zero embraces bold imaginations and distinct cultural elements to create a new aesthetic we call Kungfu Punk.
Kungfu Punk, let's go. Yeah, having Donnie Yen consulting and doing motion capture, yeah, you know there's a reason the fight choreography in this game was so clean. Makes perfect sense. It's because Donnie Yen was involved. Donnie Yen's fight choreography is god tier. Yeah, Mistfall Hunter. I saw a little bit of that game. I wasn't really interested. Woo! Oh my god. Bro, look at these monster designs, bro. The game's gonna market us with surprisingly quiet. I think it's just early.
Hi everyone, I'm Soulframe, the creator and director of Phantom Blade Zero.
What up?
Today, I'm inviting you into our universe, a dark wuxia epic filled with mystery, vendettas, and lightning-fast wordplay.
There is a
You
story.
play as Soul, once the Order's most feared blade. After being set up for your leader's murder, you are betrayed by the people you once fought beside.
Ops everywhere.
What have I done?
In the final duel against your childhood blood brother, Zuo Shang, the blade is driven through your heart.
You're late. Let's get started already.
Thought it was Japanese. Nope, Chinese.
The mysterious healer, the flesh sculptor, restores your life, but with a fatal condition. You have exactly 66 days to live.
That's tough.
Survival means finding a cure hidden in the chaos ahead, but the hunt will force you to confront the rod beneath your betrayal and the scheme massive enough to break the entire Wulin.
If you want Bloodborne 2, this is definitely not your game.
It's a martial underworld forged in blood and belief.
This is an action game. It's not a Souls
You will
game.
walk among the last guardians of righteousness, the fallen who surrendered to darkness, and the lost warriors found by broken codes. Each choice you make here will fracture your trajectory and reshape your fate. 66 days. That's all the time you have.
Six days, gotta go crazy.
But you won't be alone. Martial artists from across the Wulin have gathered in Pengzhen, turning the town into a deadly trap of rival factions, hidden malice,
environments are so
and
cool.
deadly schemes.
The girl's nothing but a shell now. She'll never be the same.
If this game was Bloodborne 2, Jay would have never finished it.
Grim secrets buried here, you will realize some things matter far more than survival, and that some enemies can never be defeated by the sword alone.
Master Soul has entered Pangshan. It seems the flesh
I love
sculptor's
the art direction is really good.
has restored his strength.
Everything, all the environments have a lot of personality, a lot of soul. You can tell there's a lot of authenticity
I'm looking forward to his next move.
to the Chinese architecture and heritage.
The Phantom World is a stage for the style we call Kungfu Punk,
Yeah, I can see
where
that.
traditional Kung Fu collides with steampunk machinery and body modification.
That's a pretty brilliant way to describe
Your
it.
journey takes you through intricate but surreal landscapes, leading you deep into the heart of Pangshan and its surrounding villages, valleys, lakes, and shadowed territories, including a valley overrun by ruthless bandits, an abandoned warehouse filled with hanging puppets, where a dark ritual seems to be taking place. A steam-powered
So
iron
creepy.
tower built for some kind of dark experiment. And a vast lake, which Soul must navigate aboard a peculiar high-speed vessel. Your journey is guided by 8 authentic hand-painted
boost
Chinese
basically carry
inboard
Jay.
maps. In complex regions, they offer only a rough sense of direction, leaving you to explore and uncover hidden secrets.
So there's going to be some exploration.
These maps seamlessly connect into a single world, where bells enable fast travel between discovered locations. Phantom Blade Zero is not an open-world game, nor is it a linear adventure from beginning to end. Instead, every corner has been meticulously handcrafted, filled with countless surprises and secrets waiting to be discovered.
It's like Souls coded.
As you explore Phantom Blade Zero, you will discover hidden enemies, side quests, rare treasures, and crucial story clues.
So it gives you the
In
benefit
Phantom
of
Blade
open
Zero,
world
combat is the driving force.
without the filler.
Every weapon is forged from martial folklore,
Yo.
cinematic legacy, and ancient tradition.
This combat is insane. Look at that.
Soul wields a massive arsenal of 30 primary weapons alongside 25 secondary weapons known
What?
as Phantom Edges.
That's a lot of weapons. Jesus Christ. And they all look like unique.
For example, the Drunken Sword style builds drunken energy, enhancing Soul's evasiveness while swaying and staggering
That's
with every
sick.
strike.
Yo.
The White Serpent and Crimson Viper twin blades work in tandem.
Oh my God.
The length of the White Serpent allows you to fling the Crimson Viper outward for ranged attacks.
That's disgusting,
The
bro.
fluid
What?
steel of the Soft Snake Sword coils around an opponent's guard, striking targets cleanly and even slicing through incoming threat-based
Don't argue with the
attacks in
developer,
air.
Jay. You played a demo.
However, a light blade won't be enough against heavy shields, and relying on swords alone will turn the fight into a punishing struggle. Crushing those defenses requires the brutal momentum of iron fists and hammers.
Ooh. I love some good fisting.
The Tiger Cannon can blast apart distant enemy formations with a single shot.
I like when games like this have
or
like really good
ignite
melee
self-destructing enemies before they get
hand-to-hand
close.
options.
And when bladed weapons fall short against a swarm of savage dogs, the flame-spewing Flaming Mane makes quick walk up the mall.
Yeah, 25-minute demo is definitely going to be pretty linear.
Mastery goes far deeper than basic attributes. Upgrading a weapon unlocks distinct forms
Seamless
and
Death.
techniques,
What a name.
carving out a unique combat philosophy.
So you can't just cheese your way through the game with one weapon. And they incentivize you to use more, not just with how cool they designed them, but with the enemy design. That's really smart.
You will never worry about a newly acquired weapon being too weak. With the Reforging Talisman,
Yes.
reset the weapon's level, recover all invested materials, and immediately reinvest them into your new gear.
Yes, respect. Thank God, developers who listen. I hate when they don't give you respect, or when there's like gear or weapons that you can't upgrade. You have to leave them behind.
We've crafted difficulty options as distinct ways
Yes,
to
thank
experience
you.
the story. Wayfarer mode is intuitive and cinematic, letting anyone feel like a kung fu master.
All right, this is the J Shock Blast difficulty.
But for those seeking a true challenge, Hellwalker mode brings in core fighting game mechanics. Bosses won't rely on fixed patterns. They react to your spacing, punish your whiffs, and adapt to your habits in real time.
Okay, this is the Game Breaker God difficulty.
For the ultimate test, unlock 66 days mode. Unlike the other difficulty settings, this mode turns Soul's 66-day countdown into a literal gameplay timeline.
Ooh. This is speedrunner
Features
difficulty.
the intensity of Hellwalker, but every defeat costs you precious time. If the clock hits 0, it is permanent death.
Permanent. So this is some Sifu stuff. That's the Sifu mode. Okay.
Our ultimate goal is to draw from the deep well of authentic Chinese folk arts and martial arts, infusing them into the sleek, visceral aesthetic we call Kungfu Punk. To show you what that looks like in motion, please take a look at this boss encounter.
Okay. Jay, you playing on the highest difficulty? You should do a stream with that. I'd love to see Jay play that mode on stream. He looks so cool. All their boss designs are just so good. Absolutely not. We don't have to bribe Jay to do it. What was he doing to our boy? It's like he was giving him a slow neck. Alright, this is using this. It's like a spear type of weapon. Yeah, watching Jay rage is peak entertainment. Alright, looks like the health recovery animation is pretty fast. So they're not going to try to cheese you like the Souls games. You can actually spray water. You get an actual water spray attack. Shadow Clone Jutsu? What? Not the Shadow Clone Jutsu, that's gas. Yeah, your hands are going to be going through a game for sure. I think Wolverine is definitely going to be considerably less combat demanding than Phantom Blade. This looks crazy. Yeah. God, the parries. Yo! There's so much sauce in this game. Look. Look at that. Oh my god. He was breakdancing. Oh, counter. With the punish. Oh, he's summoning some mobs. Woo. Oh my god. Just ripped his helmet off. Oh, yo. These guys are insane. Got the lightning sword. Parrying with the fire. He was parrying with fireballs. That's insane. Finishing move. Switch to the lightning blades. You did this one too? I gotta see Jay play this fight. On hell difficulty. The music goes crazy too. Barely beat him. Nice. Holy Lord, this is like a new fight.
Bringing Phantom Blade Zero to life has
Pizza
been
cutter
a massive
head.
endeavor, and the support from our community has allowed us to build the exact game we envisioned. It's our way of paying tribute to tradition while bringing it to life as an immersive experience for players all over the world.
So I guess you get a choreography with the controller. That would be fun. That give the developer cam to guys showcase it. That would be kind of fun.
Now this is just a quick glimpse of Phantom Blade Zero. There's much more for you to explore, and you may even cross paths with the character I play along the way.
Donnie!
Phantom is movement, swift, elusive, striking from
We gonna fight Donnie Yen in this game? Yeah, that's definitely Donnie Yen's character. I know that combo anywhere. That's straight out of It Man.
Blade his breath.
Channel it into a steel, turning any blade into a.
I know that ground pound anywhere.
That's the path to know.
That's straight out of It Man.
Pre-order now.
October 29th, bro. That's going to be so peak. All right, let's check out the PS5 features. Master precision shot with adaptive triggers. Oh, okay. They incorporated that into the arrow into the feedback. Of course, you got the 3D audio. Love when games take advantage of the DualSense controller. 2 days before your birthday. Yep, because Jay was born on Halloween. That's the end of that's the end of the show, man. I cannot I can I cannot wait for Phantom Blade Zero. This game has so much sauce. The Donnie Yen inclusion is perfect. And the date is perfect too. Cause it's like we're gonna have this packed September full of games. You know, Onimusha, Control, Wolverine, Blood of the Dawnwalker. But then we're gonna have like all of October basically free to, you know, to recover. And then we get Phantom Blade Zero at the end. And then we got all of November, and then like towards the end we get to GTA 6. So I'm glad they space it out. So it's like has a bit of room to breathe. Even though it's closer to GTA 6, I don't think there's going to be much overlap between the people who are going to get GTA 6 and the people who are interested in Phantom Blade Zero, because you know all the ball and gun gamers are going to go for GTA 6. All the real gamers are going to go to Phantom Blade. But you retire. 99% of the game should have multiplayer co-op aspects. There should be option to play on single player mode. I don't think so, actually. I think there's plenty of multiplayer game options out there. I think we definitely need to continue with more single. I think for sure we need less multiplayer games. Just in terms of like live service, for sure. Definitely need more for single player games, but I think to replace the live service stuff, they should lean more into co-op games as like a replacement. But yeah, I don't think most games need to be multiplayer at all, especially since that's not most devs' specialty. You keep in mind we don't have to play everything. Seriously. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like content creators like have, you know, that are covering certain stuff have to obviously play stuff as early as possible. But everybody else, like, unless you're worried about spoilers for a particular story driven game, like you can just wait. Publishers become greedy the moment they hear multiplayer live service. Like that's the issue. Like you always gotta be real careful when it comes to that aspect of it. Like if we're talking like, and that's the thing, like if you're talking like 1 to 2 people, those are typically fine. The friend slot games that are you know, dominating Steam, you know, those tend to be fine. But once you but yeah, a lot of publishers can't help themselves. You know, they think live service, they start thinking microtransactions, you know, they start thinking dollar signs, start exploiting. Like you want to avoid that. We want to avoid that. I think studios should make the games that they are passionate about, that they are confident they can put together. Like if your passion is a multiplayer game, by all means, go for it. It's probably going to be good if it's something you're passionate about. But yeah, when you have studios that are like trying to chase trends, like it usually ends in failure. Playing with real people creates experiences that never get old. So does playing single player games. Playing as someone who plays a lot of multiplayer games, I could definitely do without I could definitely do without a lot of them. Like especially PvP. like dealing with real people that aren't your friends are very often not pleasant experiences. So no. I could not disagree. I could not possibly disagree with you more. Like I think your take is way off. When a game is multiplayer, it is very often, especially these days, not fresh at all. Just ask any 2K, Call of Duty, or Madden player. No, even Rivals players. Like I love my Rivals, but holy, that game, that community makes you makes you want to uninstall sometimes. Give you easily. Here's the thing, GTA 6 is coming out kind of late. I think GTA 6 legitimately comes out like the day before voting ends for Game of the Year. So they might miss the cutoff. They'll definitely throw them in there because something similar happened with Dispatch. Even though Dispatch was released well before the Game of the Year voting, because Dispatch released the game in like pieces, episodically, 2 episodes at a time. Because the final 2 episodes, came out after they already done voting, they penalized it a little bit. They still gave it some nominations, but because they didn't finish it, because they didn't have all the episodes out, some voters didn't feel comfortable voting for it because they didn't get to play the full game. So based on when GTA 6 comes out, pretty much none of the voters are going to have actually played the game by the time they turn their votes in. And they're obviously not going to be able to finish the game in one day. So GTA 6 legitimately might miss out on the voting this year, and they'll just make it eligible for 2027 instead, which I think would be ideal, because I don't want GTA 6 to suck up everything. Yeah, like I legit, based on when it comes out, I don't think it's actually going to. I think there's a very good chance it doesn't get nominated for Game of the Year, because it would be crazy if it got nominated for Game of the Year and none of the people who voted played it. They wouldn't be able to do that. They wouldn't be able to justify doing that. Like if it makes it in under the cutoff technically, they may give it like a best new or best new game or something. They may give it like 1 nomination, but I don't think they can. It would be pretty controversial if they nominated for Game of the Year without it actually being played by the voters. So I think there's a decent chance that it might not, and they'll just have it be eligible for 2026 and 2027. You find toxic people everywhere in life, in school, completely different. As someone who actually touch grass, it's 100 times more toxic online than in person. Like it's not even close. Like what? I worked in retail. I worked in I worked in all sorts. I worked at Target. I worked at a movie theater. I worked at a bookstore. I've worked in sales. I went to college. Like, there's not even a question. Like, online is a million times more toxic. Because when you're in person, there's more of an expectation of politeness, in large part because when you're in person, you got to be careful what you say. You got to be more careful what you say because there are now actual real world consequences. Like, you can't just pop off like you do online because you're not able to hide behind the keyboard. So it's actually interactions are actually way more respectful on average in person, especially in like a workplace or like a job. Like, it's not even close. Like, what are you talking about? Must admit, Fanboy Zero is a piece of art. Absolutely. Yeah, like, legitimately, like, people, you like usually literally see this all the time. Like, people who pop up who pop off online, then get pressed in real life and completely switch up. Like, people are a lot more cautious in real life compared to when they're online. When they're online, like, there's no real consequences. You're anonymous. You're hiding. You can be anonymous. You're behind your keyboard. Like, the only thing they can do to you realistically is just insult you back. In person, everyone's just way more polite. So to announce the demo, maybe. So realistically, the demo is something that sounds like they would announce at like Gamescom, which is in like what, 2 weeks from now. We get Gamescom. Yeah, I could definitely see them having them come up at Gamescom and then announcing that at the end of the show, or like right now you can download a demo of Phantom Blade Zero. That's probably what they would do. That actually makes a lot more sense. Since we're already so close to Gamescom, they probably planned it out for that, because they're going to have a lot more people watching. Because you got to think about it also from like a marketing perspective. What's going to, if they're putting out a demo, their goal is to reach as many people as possible. Who's going where are people more likely going to see the demo announcement? At a state of play happening at 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast, or at Gamescom, the second biggest gaming event of the year. It just makes more sense if they were going to do something like that, to just save it for Gamescom, especially since they're so close. Like, devs wouldn't get yelled at for Wolverine 24/7 RL. Yeah, every IRL, everyone loves Wolverine. Like, every time I see something IRL related to Wolverine, everybody's hyped for it. Uh, S game, their other game was called Rain Blood, which is also like a Kungfu Punk type of game. Consequences for being a jerk online still stick as they used to be. They don't stick at all. That's the problem. that's precisely one of the things that people are complaining about with Rivals. Like, even though Rivals has they implemented a system to detect toxic language, it's horribly implemented. Like, people say the most outrageous things in voice chat and just get away with it. But if you say a curse word, you might get muted or banned for a couple hours. Like it's clearly ridiculous. There's literally just no consequence at all. Like, what are we talking about? And then social media wise, yeah, there's definitely no consequences, especially on Twitter. Like Twitter, you can nearly just say anything with no consequences. Like that, I would love to live in the world that you live in, where where there's constant where people are a lot more behaved online because there's accountability. That's just not the case. Yeah, Rainbow is an RPG. Con Masters out there are going to love the challenge of this game. Yeah, it looks like they made this kind of for everybody. Like it's obviously Souls coded, but they have a large amount of difficulty settings catered to different levels. So you got your IGN difficulty at the bottom, and then you got your super hardcore Souls-like difficulty at the top. And the way the game's designed, it looks like it just has all that more sauce and aura than Wukong. You know, for the people who like that style of game that seems kind of soulsy, but has, you know, doesn't have that really restrictive feeling that a lot of games that try to be like Bloodborne have, where the character is kind of like slow moving and stiff, and the mechanics and beating enemies is more about memorizing attack patterns and build crafting rather than being able to pull off, you know, great combo moves and everything like that. Yeah, I like these games a lot more. Yeah, the internet isn't. Yeah, the internet's kind of a horrible place, especially now. Do you think Spider-Man 3 will end the Spider-Man franchise? Brother, Spider-Man Brand New Day just made over $2 billion in like 2 weeks. Spider-Man 2 sold almost 1 million copies the week Brand New Day came out. Sony is never letting Insomniac end the Spider-Man franchise. Like, what are we talking about? Insomniac will be making Spider-Man games until they're 90. Like they're as long as civilization exists, we will be getting Spider-Man movies and Spider-Man video games. Too many people love that character. It just makes too much money. Donnie Yen's insane. Yeah, there's always gonna be more Spider-Man content. Like that's never changing as long as civilization remains standing. Spider-Man 3 will wrap up Peter's trilogy, but as we saw, Insomniac has very many options they can choose from. You know, they started the universe with Spider-Man and Peter. They added a spin-off with Miles, giving us another Spider-Man they can build games around. They're going to have a Venom spin-off. They're adding Cindy Moon, another potential spinoff. They still haven't added Gwen Stacy, who could be another spinoff. Then if they continue expanding Wolverine, we're going to have X-Men games on top of that, because the next phase of Marvel MCU is going to be about the X-Men. So now they can have Insomniac making X-Men games. Insomniac also introduced crossed over the Spider-Verse into their game with Spider-Man 2 with that side quest. So they have the Spider-Verse lines they can pull, bring in a Miguel game. And their version of Peter is also still pretty young. He's still in his mid-20s. Because the events of the Spider-Man games, the time skips between them aren't all that long. I think the time skip between Spider-Man is like for 2018 and Miles and Spider-Man 2 it's like a year. Cause Miles takes place like pretty much immediately after Spider-Man 2018 ends. And then there's like a less than 1 year time skip with when Peter is off with Mary Jane overseas. So by the time Spider-Man 3 rolls around, Peter's going to be like 26. So yeah, they have a lot of story they can tell. With the way they design their universe. So we have nothing to worry about in terms of what they're going to them making more Spider-Man games. They can make they have unlimited options. They can start a new trilogy around a new Spider-Man villain. They can go right into another spinoff. Like there's so many things they could do. So many Spider-Man stories that they still haven't told yet or adapted yet from the comics. They are in a great position to tell a bunch of Spider-Man stories. So yeah. We'll probably get Carnage in the Venom game or a Spider-Man 3 DLC. But yeah, Peter still has other villains. They have a lot of directions they could go in before they even consider a reboot around a different version of Peter and storyline. Like it's going to be like 2070 before Insomniac has to probably worry about a reboot. Insomniac hasn't even done because the other thing you gotta remember, Insomniac started their Spider-Man franchise when Peter was already like 8 years into his career. Yeah, that's another thing you have to keep in mind. They could legitimately have an entire Spider-Man trilogy based on those earlier, even more than that. They could probably for an 8-year run, they could probably squeeze in 2 different trilogies. if they wanted to go backwards a little bit, like starting with like Spider-Man Year One. And focusing on those early stories that we got glimpses and like lore teases of, but yeah, establishing everybody. Like they have so many options they can do with this universe. Just by watching the state of play, do you think it proves the PS5 has a lot more to give versus jumping to a PSX? I don't think it makes any difference at all. We already knew this was something PS5 had back in 2023. I think the issue with the PS6 is that it's coming out at a time when hardware prices have skyrocketed, and now you have the issue of people already concerned about them jumping to a PS6 in 2027 because of the perception of a lack of PS5 exclusives compared to the PS4 generation. But now the bigger concern is that on top of that, you're also going to have the issue of the console potentially being $2,000. That's like by and large the big problem. Doesn't matter what games. Like Phantom Blade Zero is coming out on the PS5 and PS5 Pro. It's not even going to be on PS6 outside of backwards compatibility. So we don't even know what game design for the PS6 there even is. Like the issue is that the PS6 is going to be potentially $2,000. Yeah, like doesn't matter what games you had on it. Like $2,000 for a console is crazy. That's by far the biggest problem, especially since the jump from the PS5 to the PS6 probably isn't going to be that large. Like the jump from the jump from the PS4 to PS5 wasn't really groundbreaking. Like the biggest thing really was like the more consistent higher frame rate and the reduced load times. Like is the PS5 to PS6 jump going to be like groundbreaking insane? Like no, it's not. But you're potentially going to be paying like more than triple the price that you paid for the PS5 at launch for the PS6. Yeah, like oh no. Well, guys, it's got even more ray tracing. And now, like imagine the pitch for the PS6 is like more ray tracing, and basically every game runs like the PS5 Pro performance mode at 60 FPS with ray tracing. Like, is that going to be like if every game is 60 FPS with ray tracing that comes out on PS6? Is that going to justify a $2,000 console? No. like people are gonna be like, you crazy? Not getting that. I think people are going to stick to the PS5, especially since they're not going to be releasing a bunch of PS6 exclusives, especially if they're planning on dropping a $2,000 console. So it's like that's why I'm thinking they should just delay it. Like see if you can hold out until the RAM situation gets better. Like 2029. Yeah, like there's nothing they could sell that's going to convince PlayStation, because PlayStation players are already mad. Like you're not, there's no way you're going to convince them to buy a $2,000 PS6 for more ray tracing. Like it's just not going to happen. Like they're not going to do it. Only people who are going to have it are rich people and content creators. We need a new TV to see a difference. Yeah, like it's just people are just gonna look at that and we're like, yeah, no. Like what are we doing? comes a built-in chat. It's not even, that'd be crazy. Like, it's not even gonna have, that's a crazy thing. It's not even gonna have like anything cool like built-in AI. Like Xbox's Helix, the Xbox Helix pitch is that, okay, yeah, it's going to be over $1,000, but it's basically going to be a hybrid console and PC. So you'll be able to play your AAA console games, but also access your Steam library and play your Steam games on your Xbox Helix. On top of that, they're going to have the PC backwards compatibility. So you're like, okay, that's a pitch, especially after the Steam machine, you know, turned out to be a dud. Like that could be legitimately something people might look into. Like, okay, instead of paying, you know, $2,000-$3,000 for a gaming PC and worrying about the setup and everything like that, I could just get an Xbox Helix and just plug and play and get all the benefits of PC gaming without, you know, the maintenance and everything like that. Save a little money. Like that makes sense as a pitch. I have no idea what the hook for the PS6 is going to be. Based on all the data I've heard, I haven't heard anything like, I haven't heard like any compelling reason for a PS6 other than it's just the latest PlayStation thing. Yeah, the Rad Brad is gonna be eating good when the PS6 comes out because everybody's gonna be watching his channel to live to experience it. Yeah, like because I was considering because that appeals to me. The Helix. You know, I was looking at the Steam machine. Then when I saw the Steam machine, you know, was a dud, I was like, okay, well now I'll look back to the Helix. Because I was thinking of getting a gaming laptop or something so I could play PC games and have that option. But if I can do that on an Xbox, like, and it's not too crazy priced, I can see that being like justifiable. But a PS6, it kind of feels like if you have a PS5 Pro, especially, there's like no reason to get a PS6 apart from, you know, you just have the money for it or you're a content creator that just wants to make content for it. But we'll have to see when they finally reveal it because we don't even know what the pitch is actually going to be. Yeah, like they need some insane games to sell them, and like because the only game I could think of that is going to be like dropping for the PS6 is going to be Spider-Man 3, and I don't think that's coming out until like 2028 or 2029. So if they're dropping in 2027, like what's the launch PS6 title going to be? Venom? Like if they launch Intergalactic, like if imagine they stick to 2027 for the PS6, that means it's launching with Naughty Dog's Intergalactic and potentially Marvel's Venom. But we know both of those games are going to be on PS5. So there's like no reason to even upgrade to the 6 just to get those games because you're going to be able to get them on PS5. So it's like, what's really the pitch here? Xbox has the games. Well, that's the other problem. That also is what I'm talking about the Steam the Steam thing being the appeal. If the Xbox Helix gives you access to Steam, then it does have games. Like then at that point it doesn't matter what Xbox games are out. You have access to everything that's on Steam on your Xbox console that you could just plug in and play. That's the appeal. Like at that point, if you're getting it because it's a hybrid PC, whatever is on Xbox is irrelevant because you have Game Pass and you have Steam. So you'll just have a massive library of games like off the bat. Like it doesn't matter what Xbox exclusives are coming out. Like you have a Steam library now, and you can just play everything, all the Steam stuff, all the stuff that comes on Steam. So it's like it's completely irrelevant what Xbox is doing at that point. You will always have games no matter what Xbox is doing. That would be like the appeal for it. Got a word they could maybe save them. I mean, they don't need to be saved. I mean, PlayStation's doing great. like despite the bad PR, they're doing amazing. I mean, their games are doing their games are doing well. I mean, God of War Laufey looks great. It's going to sell. Wolverine looks great. It's going to sell. Phantom Blade Zero looks great. It's going to sell. Naughty Dog, the Intergalactic. We'll see what the gameplay is looking like, but it's Naughty Dog. It's going to sell. Then they already confirmed God of War Egypt is coming. The next God of War game is coming after Laufey. You know, that's probably going to be a PS6 game. That's going to sell. Whenever Horizon 3 comes out, that's going to sell. Like they have stuff coming up. It's just like that PS6 price point is going to be what holds it back ultimately. Would Sony hold back release exclusive to sell PS6? I don't think they would. I think ultimately they might end up delaying it a year or two. If the market conditions don't change. But yeah, what they definitely don't want is to, because they already promised that they're going to release at least one like major single player game every year going forward. So what they absolutely cannot afford to do is not release games that they have lined up, because it's more, because remember, delaying games is very expensive. So studios never ever delay games unless they absolutely have to, because of like literally like technical reasons, like the game is not in the state, it's not ready yet. Like otherwise they're not delaying because it's too expensive, especially now. You know, yeah, like even PS5 when it launched without like real exclusives. Like the biggest PS5 launch title was Miles Morales, and that was playable on the PS4 as well. So they're not going to have, they're not going to have anything major that's PS6 exclusive, because like I said, just going, unless there's like an unannounced game that we don't know about for 2027, if they release it then, like we know Naughty Dog and potentially Insomniac are like their only major games lined up for 2027 besides Laufey, which is coming out in the beginning of the year on PS5. So we know it's pretty much just Venom and maybe, you know, Intergalactic, and we know those are going to be on PS5 and PS5 Pro. So there's really not a lot potentially they can do to like drive it. And again, in order to convince someone to get the PS6, there's just no game that's going to be able to do it. Like literally the only way they could convince people to buy one game, could convince people to buy a PS6, is if it's like GTA 6 or Red Dead Redemption 3. like if they said Red Dead Redemption 3 or GTA 6 was delayed and suddenly going to be a PS6 exclusive, like that's literally the only way they can convince people to buy a PS6 at a $2,000 price point. Like there's just no way. Where you're talking about pricing a console that high, like there's no one game that's going to convince people, yeah, that's the one. I need the PS6 for that. Like it's just not happening. They need to delay it. PS5 launched during COVID. Yeah, but they plan but that happened after it launched. They had already planned their games to not be exclusive to the PS5. Like Miles Morales was already planned. It launched as a PS4 and PS5 game. They had already planned that in advance, like well before the pandemic started. Like the pandemic started in like late 2019. Miles Morales was already finished by then. Now be a Rockstar, so exactly like Sony has, there's not a single studio or game right now in Sony's catalog that would justify making it a PS6 exclusive that people would want to spend $2,000 on a console for. Just they don't have anything. Like the new God of War game after Laufe is not ready yet. Horizon 3 is not ready yet. The new Uncharted, not ready yet, and also not a system mover. Like they don't have anything. Like the only thing they would have potentially is Spider-Man 3, and that's like 2029, 2028. Like it's not ready yet. Like they have nothing. Yeah, if they can sell it for around the price, if they can get the price down to around the price of the PS5 Pro, like we can, then we could be talking about something. But if it's going to be like pushing $2,000, just no way. Even as a content creator, I'm having a hard time justifying in my mind getting a PS6 based on what I've heard so far. I haven't heard anything about the PS6 that makes me feel like I need to get one, even as a content creator that can write it off on their taxes. Like I'm struggling to think of why I would want it, but I know I could probably make some content around it, so I'd probably still get it because I got the PS5 Pro and I didn't need it. And I made some content around that, but there wasn't really worth it. But I still got it anyway. I think the PS6 content could potentially be more worthwhile, so I could justify it that way. But so far it's not moving me. Yeah, at this point, the Xbox Helix high key sounds like more interesting, even though Xbox doesn't have any games that are coming up. Like right now, Xbox, its future games are like Fallout and Elder Scrolls 6. Stuff I'm not sure in, but being able to play Steam, yeah, I would potentially grab that. It's frustrating to see a Sony hate over the move to digital only. Yeah. Personally, I think that's a minority. Like I think most of the anti-Sony hate directed at Insomniac is coming from Xbox fanboys, from what I've seen. Like all the disc bros are doing is just copy and pasting the same memes. Like and everybody immediately just dunks on them in the comment section. Most of the time that hate is coming from the culture warriors. But yeah, as of right now, Sony's not going to have really any PS6 exclusive games to like really show off to advertise. on top of having like a 2K price point, so they really should just delay it. Like it's like there's no reason to rush it out. It just doesn't make any sense. Just delay it. Just delay it a year or two. Because you gotta bear, if you're gonna charge that much money, you bare minimum have to have some launch titles worth advertising. Like if your launch titles are on the PS5, like why is anyone gonna buy a PS6? They could just get the PS5. If they just keep they have their PS5 and PS5 Pro, why would you get a 6 if all the launch titles are on the 5? Doesn't make any sense. They got to delay it. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get up somewhat early in the morning to get a new video out, but appreciate everyone hanging out. WS Games, love the Phantom Blade Zero deep dive. Shout out to Donnie Yen. Cannot wait to get my hands on this game. Hopefully they drop the demo at Gamescom in a couple weeks. I'll definitely stream that. I was going to be streaming Gamescom, so if they do the demo, I'll definitely try to stream a little Phantom Blade Zero after I get everything done. So appreciate everyone. I'm Sadot the Gamer signing out.